Now the drums are behind me. Right? So you got the x-axis, the y-axis, and then here's something that we don't have. All right. Now the drums are above me on my z-axis. Hey man, we don't just listen to music anymore. We get immersed in it. What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Wavy Wayne from wavywayne.com, and this is your introduction into immersive audio music production. In this video, we'll explore what immersive audio is and how you can get started using it today using the Immerse Spatial Audio Production Suite from Embody. Immersive audio refers to the advanced audio technology that creates a more realistic, engaging experience for the listeners. The main goal of immersive audio is to make you feel like you're actually in the audio, inside the song, inside that concert, instead of just watching and listening to it from afar. This is all achieved by using multi-channel audio systems, spatial audio techniques, and 3D sound positioning. Some of the benefits of immersive audio include the enhanced realism. It's just going to feel more real to the listener. Increased engagement, because instead of just listening, the audience will actually feel like they're a part of the experience. Spatial awareness, because with 3D audio positioning, listeners can actually pinpoint where the sounds are coming from, creating a more realistic, immersive experience for them. Creative possibilities with immersive audio are endless. You can have stuff whizzing around your head, cutting through you, flying from left to right, helicopters flying off into the distance. Whatever you imagine, you can do it with immersive audio. This also opens up a whole new world for immersive entertainment, including movies, games, and all kind of stuff outside of music that actually use immersive audio. Overall, immersive audio technology creates a more engaging, realistic listener experience that opens up a whole new world of creativity and possibilities. Embody Immersive Studio is a cutting-edge software tool that allows you to truly experience immersive audio using the headphones that you already own. So whether you're a content creator, an audio mixer, a musician, producer, or you just love audio, Immersive Virtual Studio will allow you to create and mix and experience immersive audio like you have never done before. Some of the main features of Embody's Immersive Virtual Studio include the Immersive Panner, which allows you to move objects and sounds in a 3D space, so height, depth, and width. They even have HRTF scans, which will literally scan your ear and allow you to experience the most accurate immersive audio based on your own hearing anatomy. The software also includes a visualizer that'll help you to understand and see how the audio is moving around in the 3D space. And of course, you can use automation to move stuff, have it flying, and get jiggy with your immersive audio. I'm going to be using Immersive Virtual Studio in my introduction to immersive audio with you today, and we will be having a immersive audio mixing contest. So make sure that y'all follow these directions if you want to enter that. Follow along with this video so you can see exactly how to set up your session for immersive audio mixing and enter the immersive audio mixing contest with Embody. All the rest of the details are down in the description below. To get started, we want to download the Immersive Virtual Studio from Embody's website. Now, you'll notice that they have a 2-week trial, but I've negotiated with them to give y'all a 30-day trial so that for the 30 days during our immersive mixing competition, all of y'all can access the Immersive Virtual Studio for free. And if you choose to buy it, you will get a 50% off discount as long as you participate in our mixing competition. Everybody else that watched this video, I'll leave y'all a discount too. We'll have the details below in the description, but enter this mixing contest so you can get that 50% off. So you'll want to go ahead and download Immerse Spatial Audio Production Suite, get it installed on your computer before moving on to these next steps. Now let's take a look at how I would actually use the Immerse Virtual Studio in a real session these are actually the stems that y'all are going to be using to mix the music. Now let's give a little bit of background for you who may not be familiar. Typically, songs are mixed first in stereo and then they get translated or remixed to be in an immersive audio format. Now, this could include Dolby Atmos, 360 audio, or any other type of immersive audio formats. Today, we're just going to be focusing on a 7.12 channel format. Now, that expands from our typical audio format of stereo, which is just a 2 channel. So with stereo, we'll call that 2.0, right? That's 2 speakers, no woofers, right? But with immersive audio, we're going to be using 7.12. That's 7 speakers on our plane. Point 1, it means our subwoofer or our LFE channel. And then a point 2 would include the overhead monitors so we can hear sound coming from above us, all right? So here I am in my Pro Tools session, and the first thing that I want to do is actually create a 7.12 mix bus. So typically when I'm gonna mix, I would route all of my stereo tracks here or whatever types of tracks that I have, I would route them out to a mix bus in my session. In this case, since I'm not mixing for stereo, I wanna mix to 7.12. To do this easily, I'll click on the first track, hold shift, click the last track, hold shift and option. That's the do to selected function in Pro Tools. And then I'm gonna click on an output path selector and route these all to a new track. So the format here is what's really important. Instead of stereo, we're gonna change this to 7.12, and I'll make that an aux input track, and I'm gonna call that my mix bus. Now, I'm gonna do something that's a little bit strange here and actually make another bus here, because what we're doing here, basically, I'm gonna be using the Immerse Virtual Studio as my studio. It's a virtual studio. So I'm gonna route the output of my mix bus to a whole new track. And this is going to be also a 7.12 track. And I'm going to just name this Studio. All right. I'll explain this a little bit more later so that it makes all the sense for y'all. But for now, this is how we're going to set up our session. We got all of our audio routed out to the mix bus. Then that mix bus is routed out to my studio. On my studio track here, I want to use the last 2 inserts to go ahead and insert my Immerse Virtual Studio, the 7.12. And I want to also insert right before that my Immerse visualizer. Cool. The next thing that I want to do now is set up an Immerse panner on each of the audio tracks in my session. So to do this, I will just go ahead and select all of those audio tracks and then use my do to selected function again, which is shift and option if you're on a Mac, or if you're on a PC, that'll be shift alt. All right. So I'm gonna hold shift and option. I'm gonna click on the last insert selector on any one of these tracks. And you want to use the last one, because if I had put this on the first track, it's basically going to change this track to a 7.12 channel format. And then anytime I'm using any plugins to process any of my audio, like if I put an EQ or a compressor on something like that, it'll be using 7 different instances of that plugin in a mono format in order to do this, which is going to really start to wear down the processing power of my computer. So you want to put the panner as the last thing on the track. So I'm gonna go ahead and insert my Immerse panner. This will be my 7.12 panner. And you'll see that that pops up on each track. We'll take a look at all of this in just 1 second. Once you've opened up the Immerse Virtual Studio for the first time, you'll need to enter your email address, then you'll get a PIN, and then you'll be able to log in and actually start to use this thing. One of the main features that I really love about this virtual studio is the HRTF, where you will actually take an image of your ear, and you'll be prompted to do this as you load up the plugin, but you'll take an image of your ear. They will scan that image of your ear, realizing the shape of your ear, the anatomy of your ear, and the sound that you hear coming from the Immerse Virtual Studio will be tailor-made to the shape of your ear, to your hearing style based on your anatomy. That's pretty dope. I wish my speakers did that. If you need to get a new image, like I could just hit this new image and then do this pin. I'm not going to do all that. It's pretty simple and self-explanatory, and you'll be able to get it pretty easily yourself. Also, as you launch the Immerse Virtual Studio for the first time, they will walk you through a 6-step tutorial, which we can go through together. Tutorial 106. Your profile is a head related transfer function or HRTF created from a picture of your ear. Your personalized HRTF models how sound reflects around your head and your ears and enters your eardrum. If to give you the most accurate spatial listening experience on headphones. Pretty dope. So you can set that up here using your profile. If you need to do a new image, you can do that. Over to the left, just to make sure that everything is still even more accurate, right? You can choose the type of headphones that you're using. You select your specific headphone or a standard headphone preset. Each preset is designed to ensure your personalized sound is distortion free and matches the certified sound quality of the studio while maintaining the tone that you love about your headphones. Yeah, so you're literally going to be able to listen to your music in all of these different studios that have been mapped out and approved by the highest level engineers in the game. All right, let's go ahead and hit OK. Next stop, you choose your studio, select studio and ambience level. Each studio is certified by the engineers who work in it day in and day out to be an accurate representation of their studio. So literally, I'm going to be mixing in Jimmy Douglas's studio, and he says that when I put on headphones and listen to music, that this is the way that he hears it in that room. Can't get any better than that. I'm literally going to be in $1 million studios, $1 million worth of places, all by using this one plugin. Adjust the ambience level to how much of the room acoustics you'd like to hear. All right. Now you can also select the different layouts to show compatible studios and listen to convenient groups of speakers and studios with less speakers than your channel count. Only the compatible channels will play. No additional down mixing is applied. If your channels need reordering, select custom to move the channels in the input tab. All right. 5 or 6, listen to the individual channels by solo and muting. Now, this is something that anybody who is currently mixing in immersive audio like Dolby Atmos formats and you're only using the binaural rendering, this is where this stuff gets really, really powerful because that's the missing aspect to mixing in headphones only, is that you don't get to really experience the true coding of your immersive audio. All you're hearing is the binaural rendering, and you're excluding many, many people who are not listening to that binaural codec, like people that are using Apple or have immersive audio setups, or even Sonos soundbars who actually are using the real immersive audio files. You can further customize your sound. The HRTF intensity changes how much of your personalized HRTF is applied. Higher values achieve maximum spatial separation. Lower values can reveal forensic details in your mix. So this is important because a lot of times when you're mixing in headphones, it's hard to kind of interpret the spatial audio, like whether stuff is in front of you or behind you, above you. The HRTF helps to make that spatial separation a lot more noticeable and more accurate for you listening and monitoring the headphones. All right, now that we've walked through the plugin, let's go ahead and choose some studios, man. I think I'm gonna go ahead and choose. I like this, the Magic's Room, right? This is the Jimmy Douglas studio, or maybe even Five Cats. Wow, look at these. All right, let's use this Five Cat studio. This looks really, really dope. It's amazing. Just imagine being in this room, and you got even the view selector. You got the actual. This is the real studio picture, and then that's just showing you how it looks. Dope. So you can choose however you want to see the space, and of course you can solo and mute different speakers all over the space. So pretty dope. I think I want to go to the Magic Room though, because this is made for hip hop and dance music. You see the Five Cat film soundtracks, classical. That's cool. We're gonna start off in the Magic Mix Room. All right. This is the personal studio of Jimmy Douglas, 4-time Grammy winning recording engineer and record producer. Need I say more? All right. So I got my studio chose. I can go in and choose my headphones, right? The Wavy One headphones will be coming soon as a choice to the Immerse virtual studio. So make sure y'all stay on the lookout for that. And many other studios will be updated as this as you just own this, right? It's just going to continue to grow, and they're adding more and more studios all the time. So I got that part set up. I don't really need this open right now. Let's get started with some mixing stuff, man. So I'm gonna start by soloing my drums here. And when you're mixing with immersive audio, you're typically going to be working with the stems. So these are the mixed stems from the stereo mix that have been exported out, and you'll receive these. I'll have the download link down in the description and on the page for the contest that we're doing, the mixing contest. It'll be there too. So you'll get these exact mixed stems as they are, so that the immersive mix can match the sound and the artistic vision of the producer, but still giving you the creativity to move stuff around in a 3D listening environment. So the output of the studio should go to your main output, whatever your audio interface is set to. All right, so that's my drums. Right now, they're in a stereo listening field, as they typically would be, kind of right up in the front. But panning in the 3D world is really easy. Just literally, I can grab one of these sound pucks. You can see where the music is playing. Got the little meters. I can move stuff. And you should be hearing that audio. Make sure you put your headphones on right now. Put your headphones on. If you're listening to headphones, you will be hearing what I'm hearing in an immersive format. So I'm moving this. I'm going to move some stuff around, just start panning. Now the drums are behind me. All right. So you got the X-axis, the Y-axis, and then here's something that we don't have. All right. Now the drums are above me on my Z-axis. You can choose to unlink the stereo if you want to, and then move these around separately if you wanted to. They'll come linked by default. You'll notice that. So I'm just going to reset mine, and let's get back to, I just want to put these drums in the front. So typically when I'm mixing in an immersive audio format, I would keep those drums right front and center, and then bring them back down to bring my size back down. I mean the height. Cool. Now let's add some percussion in. So with percussion, I like to bring my percussion kind of to the back and up a little bit. All right. And then what else we got? We got a bass. All right, now here's where immersive audio gets a little bit different than mixing in stereo. So with a track like a bass or even my drums up here, we have this channel. It's called an LFE. That's the low frequency elements. And typically anything that you want to send to your subwoofer, that you want to make your subwoofer rumble, you want to turn some of that up some so that you can get that LFE to start being activated. So I'm going to go ahead and start to turn up my LFE channel on my bass, and I'll go back and bring it in on my drum some too. Dope. All right, now we got some synth pads. I like how those are moving. So I can just do that manually, just moving them back and forth. And what I'll do is hold the 3-finger modifier. So what I want to do now is basic plug-in automation. If you've never done plug-in automation before, it's really simple. One thing that you want to do is open up your automation window first, and that's to go to the window menu and hit automation, right? And then once that automation window opens up, you can choose to make sure that plug-in automation is right enabled. That's all you need to do. All right, I'm going to close that. Next thing I want to do is enable the parameters inside of this plugin that I want to automate. And in this case, I'm just going to enable everything, right? To do that, you see this little plugin automation enable button right under where it says auto there. I'm going to hold Control, Option, and Command and click right there. And you'll see once my bypass button turns green, that means that every parameter in this plugin is now set for automation. Good. Now, what I'm going to do is set this track to, let's go to touch mode. And then as I'm playing, one thing I like to do in my synths is just kind of have them along the sides, kind of just moving back and forth a little bit. So I'm going to just move this back and forth a little bit along this section. The next thing that I want to do is actually automate a little height on this. So I'm going to go ahead and record some height using the Z control. Giving a nice little breathing feeling. And then let's move on. Let's move on to the vocals now. We had some fun with that. And of course, you can do all your audio processing. So I feel like I just want to add a little art box to this. The size actually increases the size of the element. If you blow it all the way up, then it'll be basically coming out of all the speakers. Travel the world, never found no one like you. All right, bet. So I'm gonna keep my lead vocal like kind of right in the stereo space, and then the background vocals, though, maybe I'll get a little fun with these. Let's move the background vocals to the rear of the room and see how that sounds. Right, and then if I wanted to, like maybe I want to add a little more reverb on here. Maybe I put it directly on. I could set up a send and return. I'm gonna just mix this one in right here. right, that felt like a better spot for those backgrounds. Right next to us. And let's bring the height up a little bit. Might as well. Let's have a little fun. All right, dope. Everything's in. Let's go over to our visualizer and see how things are moving and sounding. So you can see where I have that object's moving, automated. We can see how stuff is spread all out through the room. All right. And then if we go and look at, let's just check out our studio, we can even get in here and customize and listen to what's coming out of each of the speakers. Those are my side speakers. All right. If I want to just hear what's coming out of the sub. All right. Addicted to your touch. All right. I'm just not enough. I want to be the one. All right. So it's just nothing's coming out of here, right? Except those drums. Let's bring that synth up there. So I think it's this one. Yeah. And then I'll I can make some decisions like that. So bring that height up. One time's just not enough. I want to be the one you call your own. I count the days. So you can really spend a lot of time getting creative inside of this virtual immersive world, but we're not going to go that far today. You have your own fun, figure out some creative stuff that you can do with this session in order to win the mixing competition, the immersive mixing competition that we're going to be doing. I think this is the world's first immersive mixing competition too. Put a thumbs up for the world's first, all right? So basically now what we want to do here to export this, and everybody who's going to be participating in the immersive mixing competition with Embody, you'll need to export your files in this way that I'm about to show y'all right now. So, of course, just like all Pro Tools, you want to make sure that you have a timeline selection, right, that spans from the beginning of the song to the end. That can be done easily by making sure that link timeline and edit selection is turned on, and that you just click one of the clips that extends from the beginning to the end. Now, what I'm going to do is go up to File and choose Bounce Mix. And what I want to bounce here is going to be a WAV file. All right, so I don't just want to bounce my stereo mix. What I want to do is actually choose the bus. In this case, I'm going to choose I'm going to choose the bus. I'm going to choose the studio bus. And the reason I'm choosing the studio bus is because maybe I had some mix bus processing on here or something that I wanted to include, but I don't want to include my immersive virtual studio. So it's literally my listening environment. I don't want to include that. Let me show y'all one thing too. There is an option though inside of here that you could just choose to bypass this plugin. If I go over to the settings, you could choose to have this bypass during the offline bounce to this. That way you're not giving, your deliverable as being in that studio, and then whoever's listening can listen in their own environment, or if they're listening in their own immersed virtual studio, they can choose the raw sound and then put it in whatever studio they want. So in this case, I just wanted to make sure that my mix is going to translate. So I'm going to be using my bounce feature, and then I'm going to use that studio bus, that 7.12 studio bus that's ultimately coming to my final deliverable there. Give Your Love to Me, Immersive. Awesome, the name there. And then shoot, all I need to do is go ahead. We're going to set this to 24-bit though. We're going to go ahead and bounce that thing. And when you're done, you'll have a 7.12 audio WAV file. All right, and now you see that the creative possibilities of mixing in immersive audio are endless, and it's going to be a more engaging experience for your listener. And it's really not that hard to get started with understanding mixing, panning, and all of that in a 3D audio format. Of course, there are some more complicated setups that I'll discuss in later videos, but this is a great starting point for anybody who's new to mixing in immersive. Don't forget that we have the immersive mixing competition starting right now with Embody. and that you can actually get this software for 30 days completely free. And for anybody who participates in the contest, I'll give y'all an extra 50% off if you decide to buy this immersive virtual studio package. All right. I'm Wavy Wayne from WavyWayne.com. Let me know what you think about mixing in the immersive audio world. Be dope.